we're going to hear a story from Martha Frankel herself. So Martha Frankel, she hosts Woodstock Book Talk at 6 a.m. Sundays, of course, and that's on, well, the radio, but then woodstockbooktalk.com, that's the place to go. And Woodstock Bookfest, there's the intensives tomorrow, the panels all weekend, and Parties. All right, so Martha Frankel, she had the same phone number for 42 years and the same group of friends for even longer. And so she wonders how it is that she is still considered the black sheep of her family. Martha Frankel.
Thank you. I don't know if I could do this. There's something going on in my throat, but okay. I was the cashier at the Joyous Lake in the early 70s. That's really my whole story. I'm going to leave now. I didn't have a car, so I hitchhiked everywhere. I would walk out of the lake at 4 in the morning and stick out my thumb. I'd be wearing these parachute pants that my boss convinced me I should wear. Take the money, he said, divide it into 8 piles. Put 1 pile in each pocket. This way, if you get robbed, they only get 1/8 of it. How could I resist? So I would stand there and count the $2,000 or $3,000 and divide it in 8ths and stick it in my pockets and walk out. I lived in a small house less than a mile away and would get in the car with whoever stopped. Oftentimes, only once did I have a problem with a guy who decided he wasn't taking me to my house, he was taking me to his. I was surprisingly calm when I realized what was going on. I quietly urged him to turn around and drop me off, but he kept me pinned back in the seat with his beefy arm while he navigated the hairpin turns. When I realized he was serious, I started yelling, tried to wriggle free, made an attempt to bite his hand. But he was a bear of a guy. He didn't say much, and I wondered if he had rape or robbery on his mind. As soon as he stopped the pickup, I jumped out and started running. There was a potent moon shining, and I could see the piles of plywood and firewood he had stacked up all around his cabin. He was slower than I was, but I had no idea where I was or how I could get out of there. Finally, I felt him right behind me, and I picked up a 2x4 and started swinging. The first blow hit him on the upper arm, and he screamed in pain. I ran behind him and swung hard, bringing the piece of wood down on his shoulder with a sickening thud. He went down. "You crazy bitch," he gasped, trying to regain his bearings. "You're fucking nuts." "Who's nuts now?" I said as I jumped into his truck and gunned the engine. I tore out of there, drove the truck to the center of Woodstock, parked it in the no parking zone in front of the lake, tossed his keys behind a tall hedge and sat on the curb till my breathing was normal and my body had stopped shaking. Then I stood up and stuck out my thumb. When a car stopped right away, I stepped in without a care. Thank you.